Hey, Slim, when was y'all gonna tell me you could be a coach in the NFL at 21? You telling me right now could go be a coach for the Washington Commanders? Say less. I'm trying to be out that joint like,
No, Jarrell, run the route again. Damn it, it's cut. You don't have anybody to flat. And I'm going to tell you what, if I had a barometer up your ass to say whether you were giving effort or not, it was about 50%. Now, who made that choice? Every individual guy here.
damn it, Lord, catch the goddamn ball! Terry, run the route! My fault, King Terry. I ain't mean to talk to you in that name in vain, King McLaurin. My fault, OG. My fault, OG. Nah, but in all seriousness, the Washington Commanders just did something super cool by hiring the 21-year-old coach that has family ties to the legendary John Madden. So without further ado, let's talk about that along with talking about Devonte Adams being linked to the Washington Commanders once he is released by the New York Jets. Should we take him? Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about just what I just said. Washington hiring multiple coaches, including a 21-year-old guy, and also the Washington Commanders being linked to Devonte Adams. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. 1 to 9,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So who remember these junks? Who remember the bucket hats that we got a couple years ago? I want to say it was at the draft party at the National Harbor a couple years ago. This joint's still in good shape, and I still got my joint. Y'all still got y'all's? Let me know. But the Washington Commanders made some moves today. First by, hiring a 21-year-old coach. And not just any 21-year-old coach, a 21-year-old grandson of legendary coach John Madden. So, in all seriousness, this guy ain't no Joe Schmo. He ain't no regular 21-year-old like myself. So, clearly, it's levels to this guy. You ain't out there being Coach Gotti. You can't be no regular coach above your butt. You had to go put in some work. You know what I'm saying? And which I didn't. That's why I'm a fan and I stand in my place. But let's go ahead and take a look at the article on WashingtonCommanders.com. So the article starts by saying the Washington Commanders announced today that Brian Snyder has been named the team's new assistant special teams coordinator. Snyder takes over for John Glenn, who served as the team's assistant special teams coordinator during the 24-25 season. So he only had 1 year here in Washington, and it's very interesting to see if Larry Izzo had anything to do with this move, or was it just solely Dan Quinn? Because John Glenn, he was here in Washington, but if you guys don't know, he recently just took a job there in Las Vegas, and the biggest reason why he went to Las Vegas is so he can rekindle and reconnect with one Pete Carroll, and that's similar to what happened here in Washington. So not only did John Glenn go to Las Vegas for Pete Carroll, but here Dan Quinn hired Snyder because him and DQ was on the same coaching staff back in Seattle as well. So again, at these certain positions, you don't necessarily always look for the most qualified guy, but as like assistant coaches, you kind of have a soft spot to hire guys that you normally are cool, close with, and want to give them an opportunity to coach. So that's essentially what I think both sides ended up doing. I don't necessarily think John Glenn did anything wrong, because at the end of the day, again, Larry Izzo is the main special teams coach. So I just think it was an opportunity for both sides to get their guy. Then it goes on to say Jesse Madden has been added to the coaching staff as an offensive quality control coach. Madden joins the team following his graduation from University of Michigan. So another thing too about that is he was on the Michigan team that ended up winning the college football playoffs, and that means that he knows Mikey Sammer still. So that's pretty cool too. And again, the guy is 21 years old, same age as me, and he's out here going crazy, being an NFL coach already. So it says Snyder enters his 18th season as a coach in the NFL after most recently serving as the special teams coordinator in San Francisco for 2 seasons in 2022 and 2023. Prior to his time in San Francisco, Snyder worked in Seattle as the special teams coordinator from 2010 to 2020, where he worked with head coach Dan Quinn for 3 seasons. So again, there goes the parallel, or one of the biggest reasons as to why Snyder is now here in Washington. He knows Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn knows what he's gonna get from Mr. Snyder, Brian Snyder. So it continues to say he began his coaching career as a graduate assistant at Colorado State, his alma mater, from 1994 to 1996. Snyder spent time at UCLA in 2003 and in 2005. Iowa State in 2005 and 2006, and Air Force in 2007 before making the jump to the NFL as the Oakland Raiders special teams coordinator in 2007. When San Francisco in 2023, Snyder kicking unit led by kicker Jake Moody made 21 of 25 field goal attempts. Moody went 3 for 3 in the Super Bowl with his longest of 55 yards. Punter Mitch Wisnowski averaged 47.7 yards per punt on the season and landed 26 punts inside the 20. So maybe he's bringing something here that we don't know. Just maybe he could help turn up dare I say, Zane Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, honestly, Zane Gonzalez should be back as the starter. I still don't feel comfortable with that take, so I would even still bring back Austin Cyber and maybe even sign a guy in free agency or draft, just because he makes me so nervous after every kick, man. It's not like I necessarily think he's a bad kicker. Maybe this is him figuring it out here in Washington. Like, you know, in the past, it's always been Kai Forbath leaving, or Dustin Hopkins leaving, or Graham Gano leaving, and in their new spot that they go, they end up becoming Pro Bowlers or much better than what they was here in Washington. So maybe Zane Gonzalez leaving teams like Arizona, this could be his spot where he figured it out. But just being truthfully honest, he makes me super nervous every time he kicks, and it doesn't make it no better that he always has to flick and mess with his hair. But that being said, maybe Coach Snyder could help, you know, have him figure it out and make him much better, given the fact that he has a recipe for success and a recent history of having success, one of the best special teams unit in the NFL, especially in that year of the Super Bowl. It says in 2022, kicker Robbie Gould made 27 of 32 field goal attempts of 50 of 51 extra points. Gould kicked the game winner in Week 17 against the Raiders to secure a win for the 49ers. Punters Mitch Wisnowski averaged 39.7 net yards per punt and was named the special teams player of the month for September. Throughout Snyder's tenure as a special teams coordinator with the Seahawks, Seattle special teams unit ranked first in the NFL in takeaways, 26, and second in block kicks, 24, during the 2013 season. Kicker Steven Hauschka. Oh my God, that is a name right there. Who remembers Steven Hauschka for Seattle, bro? I haven't heard that name in so long. He converted on 33 of 35 field goals for a Seahawks single season record 94.3. Made field goal percentage was pretty much 94.3 throughout the whole year. Hauschka's 143 kicker point also was the most in Seattle's history. In Seattle Super Bowl win, Percy Harvin returned a kick and took the second half opening kick 87 yards for a touchdown. Who remembers that as well? That was a classic right there, man. Oh my God, Legion of Boom. That team was so good, and they just drubbed Denver. So it's great to see that we got a couple coaches from that coaching staff now. And again, he has recent history with the San Francisco 49ers, and he has a little bit of not ancient, because it's not like 20, 30 years ago, but it is a little bit time ago, with success with Seattle. So it seems like wherever he goes, he's finding a way to turn a special teams unit into a beast. And I think Washington definitely needs that. We had plays at times last year where we had made some turnovers on special teams, but you can't never get better. I think you can help Jeremy Reeves turn back to his old self. Obviously, we got some fiends already in Ballore on the special teams unit, and Tyler Owens getting back healthy. So I think this is a nice unit that he can help out with alongside Larry Izzo. So stay tuned. Don't be surprised if the special teams unit ends up being a beast. As for Jesse Madden goes, though, he's the grandson of Pro Football Hall of Famer John Madden. He will enter his first season in the NFL after graduating from University of Michigan. At Michigan, Madden played quarterback in his freshman season before switching to defensive back. Madden was a member of the 2024 National Championship team at Michigan. So not only did he play quarterback and have some offensive side of the ball, what's the experience, but he played DB, so he kind of has both sides experience, and he knows Mikey Sanders still that much more now because they was in the same room. And he's the offensive quality control coach, so it's very interesting, man, and it's exciting for a young fella like that to get his opportunity. Can you imagine how he feels right now? And imagine this is the start of something special. When he looks at his journey, he's going to say, man, I really started in Washington at 21 years old. Most 21-year-olds are still figuring out life. Most 21-year-olds are probably still in college or just going to college or not really necessarily knowing what they want to do again with their life. But you are in the NFL and you're coaching in a quite meaningful role. So I pulled that up actually so you guys can understand what directly does an offensive quality control coach do? I mean, I know it's probably sounds self-explanatory, but I definitely want to, just for some people that ain't that deep into specific coaches roles, it says an offensive quality control coach in football primarily responsible for analyzing game film, preparing scouting reports, assisting with practice planning, and generally supporting the offensive coordinator by identifying trends and weaknesses in opposing defenses to help develop the offensive game plan for upcoming games. Essentially acting as an entry-level coaching position focused on detailed film breakdowns and data analysts to contribute to the offensive strategy. So again, we give all the credit to Cliff Kingsbury. We give all the credit to Joe Witt Jr., but it's these guys that are below these offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators that really is putting in the day-to-day work. Not saying Cliff isn't. Obviously, he is. But Cliff don't got time to cut up the film and watch the film. Cliff wants to go in there and just watch the film with JD5 in the offense, right? Who's cutting up the film? Who's going through the film each and every play and cutting it up and saying, yeah, Cliff wants to see this. I know he likes to see this. I know they want to see this. Oh, look at this play right. They need to see this. This needs to be a general focus for this week. The offensive quality control coach handles all of that, man, and he's gonna be working close by Cliff Kingsbury. So that's good. That's a good person to have as a mentor. And man, I just can't wait. We're the same age, so I'm already knowing I'm gonna always keep up with him even when he's done here in Washington. But I just can't wait to get 20 years from now, you know what I'm saying, 41 years old, and I see Jesse Madden as a head coach in the NFL somewhere, and I can say, damn, Slim, he was on my squad, same age as me when he first got his first job here in the league, man. So it's very cool from that aspect. Now, let's talk about Devonte Adams. I know a lot of people's going to have mixed feelings about this as well, similar to Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, all the receivers that we talk about, we are going to have mixed feelings about because not everyone is going to agree on who we should go after. With salary flexibility, Washington can make moves this offseason to make sure they are Super Bowl contenders next year. One area of improvement they can look at is their wide receiving core. For Daniels, adding talents alongside Terry McLaurin. There's one key wide receiver that will hit free agency this offseason, and that is because he will be cut by his current team, the New York Jets, who are moving on from Aaron Rodgers, will also be moving on from Devonte Adams as well, man. And that's very, very interesting because literally Devonte Adams only went to New York because of Aaron Rodgers, and to see that just ain't work out, and it barely was a season of that working out, man, or getting going, and they're most likely going to be cut because Aaron Glenn is going to be going into a different direction. That puts Devonte Adams back on the market, and I wonder, will Devonte Adams finally get his head out of his tail and go play for Tay Adams? Stop trying to chase Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is 40 plus years old. Let him go up. That's your guy. That's your homie. Cool. Y'all could be friends in the offseason, Slim, but don't keep allowing, and I'm not saying it's just A-Rod, because Devonte Adams clearly loves Aaron Rodgers and wants to play for Aaron Rodgers, but don't keep trying to follow Aaron Rodgers and chase this Green Bay high. It ain't like y'all won a Super Bowl together, bruh. Go somewhere where you can be the guy, or now at this point in your career, they talking about you being wide receiver too. Go win. Go win. It ain't about stats anymore for you, man. It should be about winning, because I'm 32 years old. I don't have many more years left where I'm going to be looked at as a high level receiver. So I need to be going somewhere where I know I'm going to compete and I'm going to win championships. I already got all the money. I already got all the accolades and success. Now I'm just missing the Super Bowl winning, the Super Bowl rings, man. And I think that's what he should be chasing. And I know he has some foul things to say about the fan base and about the area back in the summertime, but that would just be my thought process if I was Devonte Adams. Continuing on though, it says the Jets should try and trade Adams to recoup some value, but it's hard to imagine they're able to do so given his contract and potential trade market. The star wide receiver will more than likely follow Rodgers again, but the Commanders should certainly pursue Adams this offseason. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox recently linked the two sides together, and a big reason as to that is because the Washington Commanders salary cap. So it says, this is quote from Bleacher Report Christopher Knox: the Washington Commanders could use a high-end number 2 receiver opposed Terry McLaurin. Adams is likely to have a very limited market unless he's willing to take a significant pay cut. So again, Devonte Adams, in my opinion, probably not likely here in Washington, but if he does become a free agent, I wouldn't mind taking a hitter on him, man. And that's the thing too. I know I said I wasn't that high on Cooper Kupp, but if Cooper Kupp was a free agent, shit, I'd take him with the quickness. I know he still can hoop. It's just, the fact that we have to trade for him and maybe even pick up that contract or extend him and stuff like that. That's why I was kind of turned off on it. But I can't be biased too, man. If I said no to Cooper Kupp, I gotta say no to Devonte Adams. They're around the same age and they're both somewhat trending downward. But I wouldn't be mad if we got him. But am I banging the table for Tay Adams? Probably not. But what says you out there? Leave it down below in the description. Would you go ahead and get Devonte Adams? How do you guys feel about the Washington Commanders hiring Coach Madden's grandson and also the new hire of Coach Snyder, a special teams assistant that is tied to Dan Quinn? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.